Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is League Unlocked. That is Mark. My name's Eric, and it's the final preview of 2020. The final match. I know All-Stars are supposed to happen in December. I don't see it happening in this year of 2020. All-Stars for the fans, and when there's no fans, there's no event, right?
It's going to be online All-Stars.
The best part's voting, I guess. That's the funnest part. So the final real event or real match, Damwon versus Suning. We got to dive in for the full preview. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. If you guys are looking at this finals and saying no TES, no G2, who cares? Boring. Then you're a fool. You're a fool.
Man.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely, you're a fool if you're looking at this finals and you're not excited. When you're talking about, oh man, no top esports, no G2. Well, continuing in that conversation, I think a lot of people would have had that same type of feeling if there was no Damwon. Well, you got one. You got Damwon. And that's good. That's one of the tournament favorites. That's what everyone's been talking about this whole time. You get to see them. And then on the other side, you got Suning. There has not been a team that has earned a place at the finals more than Suning has in the history of League of Legends. The way that they showed up, the way that they played throughout the entirety of the group stage. Not to mention, hey, group stage going up against G2, TL, and Machi, which actually turned out to be quite the combination of teams. And then, moving forward, to make it on all the way through quarters and semis, man, they have gone right through the ringer, and they absolutely deserve this spot. You can't have a hotter team at Worlds than Suning and how that they fought to this finals, and then obviously one of the favorites in Damwon waiting for them.
We've always talked about it previous World Championships, 2018 Fnatic, 2016 Samsung. That path to the finals was too easy. They didn't have to face one of the tournament favorites or beat anyone actually good. Well, Suning will have beaten the three tournament favorites, all three of them in their run. So that enough is a story that you should be fascinated about. Obviously, there's matchups across the board, which are exciting here, but I want to start in that top lane. Nuguri versus Bin. We know they both prefer playing carries. They've only got 4 games combined of Ornn, and 3 of those were Nuguri playing it. And surprisingly, for a guy who we have associated with carries for the last 2 years, he's really good at Ornn. Really good.
Hey, that's a pretty damn valuable thing this year of all the years to become very proficient on the Ornn. Blowing that Ornn horn has looked pretty good for Nuguri. In that matchup, what I'm looking for is, again, the champions. What they're picking, I think, is going to be more so than, how things go. What they pick in draft. Draft for this little micro matchup in the top side is going to be so vitally important on what we're going to get, how they're going to interact with each other. One of the picks that I'm really trying to keep my eye on in this matchup is going to be the Jax. Not so much for Nuguri. It'd be interesting to see if we get that from him, but more so, again, from Bin. That has been the pick that has come through really
4-0 on the Jax.
In the summer, a 75% win rate on the Jax, and at Worlds, 100% on that Jax with that win rate. You said it, 4-0. That is certainly going to be a power pick that you got to keep your eyes on. And if you're on the side of Damwon, might want to think about trying to your best to keep out of the hands of Bin.
Yeah, and even going further, you have the Jax for Bin, and Cannon is a pick that not many people are playing, but Nuguri can completely take games over on it with TP flanks or just flash engages. So they both kind of have almost their pocket pick, and pick and ban could start and finish in that top side.
Yeah, and again, as we talk about that top matchup, 1v1, it's important to remember that of the two, who's going to be trying to call over for help a little bit more. I think it's actually going to be Bin. I think Bin is going to be the one looking to try and get something in that top side, try to get something going with some help, and that is going to be interesting to see. Obviously, who is the first jungler to try and make that approach to the top side, try to get that advantage in this 1v1.
Yeah, and the gold share has been there for Bin, as you saw. They've put a lot of resources in getting him ahead. He is not playing anything close to a tank. A lot of those Jax games, a lot of the split pushing as well. So the top side is going to be very fun to watch for. The other matchup that I'm really excited for is the bot lane. And you can talk about the 2v2, but I'm talking bot laners head-to-head because their roles within their team are so different. We've said countless times, Ghost is just don't die. You're just there. You're almost the supportive AD carry, whereas Juan Fang, all the gold, all the kills are getting funneled into him. You're going to carry the game. And he just did that in a whole series against Jackie Love. So it's really, this is the hardest test that Ghost will have had, and Damwon as a bot lane probably all tournament.
And I love that you said that you're focusing really just on the bot laners for this one. You're not talking about the 2v2. Well, it's a good reason you're not talking about the 2v2, because when you're looking at the supports that we're going to have,
there won't be a 2v2.
There's no 2v2, my man. Those guys are going to be roaming the map, looking to make plays elsewhere. So yes, it is about that 1v1, certainly in the 2v2 and farming up and everything else, sure. But 1v1, you're going to have that situation a lot of times in lane. And is it just going to be, okay, let me ping pong the wave to you and you ping pong it back to me and collect our CS and handshake? I don't think that's going to be the situation, knowing what we've seen from Huang Fang and how he wants to play, let alone, again, the type of champions that have been the, premier picks in the bot lane, really, as we've seen in the last 2 weeks. Jin's power, the ability that he has alongside that W root ability early on, has been a major difference maker. And again, putting that type of bully, that type of power, that type of damage and crit in the hands of someone like Huang Fang, you better believe that he's going to be want to be making some of these 1v1 trades down with Ghost, and just to test how much he's ready.
And even outside, when we do get to the team fighting, we've seen Huan Fang obviously excel and carry countless games for Suning in those fights. And Ghost, there's not much you can say wrong about his positioning, but I feel like this is potentially the first series that we're going to see Damwon, actually have to play team fights, maybe at an even gold, where AD carries are very important, because they just haven't had those in months.
Yeah, that's the one thing that you're heading into this one, and people are going, weren't you just hyping up how well Ghost had emerged this whole summer, and what type of position he can offer now for Damwon, and how it changed things having that bot lane work that way? Yes, but they haven't run into someone like Huang Fang, and let alone someone playing at the level that Huang Fang is playing with, the level of confidence that he has shown, especially in the last 2 weeks. My man, you haven't seen nothing yet.
And the other matchups, you talk about Canyon versus S of M, and we talked about S of M against, even back when they were playing Kanavi, we said totally different play styles. And then S of M went and played carries at every single game. So obviously he's proven he can do that, which makes the jungle matchup that much more exciting. And as a result, because Angel played so much better against TES, that mid-jungle 2v2 is all of a sudden a banger on the Rift here.
I'm so excited to see if they go back to the jungle Shen. That's what I'm interested in seeing is, what? Hey, it takes a lot of confidence to bust that out when you did, and let alone to say, all right, we're taking it into Karsa. It's a whole different story to say, yeah, we can keep a Shen in the jungle up in pace and farm with someone like Canyon working around on the other side.
Don't even complete the jungle item. Just get the Tiamat, baby.
That's going to be a very different situation if that's the pick they're going for. Hey, we didn't get to see the Vietnamese region make their trip to the World Championship. SFM says, it doesn't matter. I don't need my region, man. I'm a carry it all on my own. Vietnam pride. I'm so happy he's there in the finals. And again, as you said, let alone the mid and jungle, even if you just want to focus on the jungle matchup, there's so much depth, so many layers to it. It is going to be so much fun.
And maybe what the biggest mismatch you could see would be Showmaker versus Angel, but we said the same thing against Knight, and that's when he stepped up. But this is the series where I think we really need to see that MVP Showmaker that we saw from the LCK. I feel like he still hasn't been unleashed, but this is the series more so than any other one that Damwon is absolutely going to need him at that level.
I think that's where people, when you talk about what your prediction, right? What predictions can be for this finals? How many games we're going to get? Is it going to be the EU special? Are we going to have a very short trip in the finals of 3-0? I don't think that's going to be the case. But if we were to see that, it would be because Showmaker shows up and delivers that all-star level performance that we know he can. That's one of the things, that X factor difference. If everything else is being these tight contested matchups that we've talked about all the way through, but this one smashes through and you got Showmaker all-star coming through, man, it's hard to see the way that the advantages can go for Damwon and what they can get, even with something like that just being the one thing in their favor. That's how good they are, guys.
If there is a 3-0 in this finals, you got to imagine it's Damwon. I can't see them getting 0-3'd in this matchup, but I don't see either team going 3-0. This is a hard one to predict. I feel like Damwon are and should still be favorites coming into this, despite the incredible run that Suning had. I I want to go with the crazy run that Suning completes the upset against all, but I feel like Damwon are just at such an all-time high when it comes to confidence and momentum. I can't see their Worlds run winning without, or ending without a World Championship. But I think it's a close series, doesn't go 5. I'm going 3-1, and closer games than we've seen Damwon have in a while.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the brain's going for Damwon, but the heart's pulling, and it's telling me that this is a story about the unstoppable force against the immovable object. I was reading some of the previews for this finals, and that was a quote I saw, and I loved it because it really does get to the core of what Suning has been. They've been this unstoppable force, this World Championship. They've picked up momentum every single stop, looking better and better, quarter, semis, as it all goes on. You're loving the story. But then you get to this immovable object in Damwon Gaming and how good they are and how they play. And that is going to be the test. Is it going to happen? And I'm telling you what, I went with my heart for G2. That was a bad choice. I'm going to go with the brain for this one. It's the LCK. And it doesn't even feel fair to say the LCK back on top, because this is all about Damwon and what they are going to do. It's a Damwon victory this year.
It's the first time, by the way, an LCK LPL final since 2014. That's wild that we're saying that. They've been consistently the best 2 regions for the existence of this game, but it's been a long time since they met up in the finals. Either way, it's going to be absolutely insane. I know I've said that for a lot of series, and they haven't lived up to the hype, but I'm going all in. I feel like this one absolutely will. So make sure you're checking out the finals on Halloween night, and it's going to be even more hype before the match because it's the 10-year anniversary. They've already shown some of the previews for the opening ceremony. Even in this pandemic world that is 2020, it's forced creativity for Shanghai and Riot. They're going to feature a lot of augmented reality. They're going to even have some fans at the venue. But I'm expecting this opening ceremony to be absolutely insane.
Oh, it is going to be the cherry on top for this World Championship. I'm so excited because everything that we've seen already, right? The appetizers that we've been getting before games, before the group stage, before play-ins of that, for that matter, what we're getting, what they're showing us that they've been able to do, the progress that's been made in the technology and how they're able to choreograph around that technology. Oh man, it is gonna be a blast. And I'm telling you what, they've already fulfilled it, my man. They already brought the Elder Dragon back to Shanghai for this event.
They had to.
So hey, the Elder Dragon's already back. What's next? They got something up their sleeves. You know it.
He's waiting for this show to start. He's just sitting there.
This the 6th member of KDA. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously, I wonder if they timed releasing a song with, a few days before the World Championship.
You thought Seraphine had depression and anxiety before. Oh, welcome to the 6th member.
The 10-year anniversary, I'm sure Riot and Chinese League of Legends are a little... It's bittersweet because I'm sure they had some insanity planned that they obviously weren't able to do because of COVID. But if there's any event, even more so than traditional sports, the World Championship and League of Legends, the demographic around it, it presents another opportunity. And I think it's going to be a once in a lifetime or generation setting event. That's how much I'm hyping this up. That's how much.
Hey, man. These finals, these performances, everything that goes on with, let alone like the actual performances and everything around it and putting it on. And then as we talk about the technology and, alternate reality, everything goes with it. It's incredible. And when you show this, this is one of the things that you talk about, a young fan base with League of Legends and everything that makes it up. These are the type of things, the type of videos that you can take back to your parents, your grandparents, and show it to them and be like, look, this is what's going on. This is why I'm so entertained. And this is only a small slice of percentage of what the whole presentation package is. These are the type of moments that help you solidify esports into the regular mainstream pop culture, I'll say. So that's important for that reason. But just as far as enjoying it and what you can expect and why we're thinking it's going to be super hype, hey, you've been watching AR technology throughout the LPL since we saw it debut with Riot before. Every year, it's gotten better, it's gotten clearer, it's gotten everything that you've wanted out of that future technology. You better believe that they're busting out all the stops for KDA at this stop.
Just tell your grandparents to look away when the KDA song comes on. There's some dancing going on, whether it's live on the stage or the music video. for more that got dropped.
Hey, that one could be some cringe, so be careful.
Don't worry, NA. You get to host Worlds when the world feels like you're ready to get out of groups. So it might be a few years still.
Look, I was a little salty about this. I said, man, I want the World Championship back home. Hold on, we're going to have to figure out COVID stuff first, guys. That's a separate thing. And then secondly, hey, let's get our teams in order here. Let's get some competitive teams where we're going to make it out of groups. That's the goal. 2021. We're looking for it.
Yeah, maybe 2023, 24. The years will keep tracking on. But eventually, I guarantee you, at some point, a North American team will get out of groups at the World Championship. Speaking of getting NA back on track, listen, one way to do that is spend a lot of money. And I hear there's one team in North America that likes spending money a little bit more than other ones. We're talking about Team Liquid, and we've already had some rumors about Alfari coming over for around $1 million a year on that contract. That's pretty big money, a little less than what they were paying Impact. And now your boy Travis Gafford saying Jensen going to be re-signing with Team Liquid. Great. He's the best mid laner in NA with Bjergsen not here. 3 years. Okay. Well, that's a long time. He's already older than Bjergsen is, so to lock him up 3 years, great. He's probably getting a decent payday. $4.2 million across the 3 years. Now, assuming that's broken up evenly across, that's a cool $1.4 million per year that Jensen's making. On top of what Alfari's already making, on top of Core JJ, you got to imagine he's making close to $1 million. I'm tactical looking at my team like, where's my money, man?
Hey, man, they better be prepared to unload the bank for tactical this coming year because he's going to need it. They're going to need it to lock down my man, and he absolutely has shown so far that type of investment could be worth it. Oh, boy, what is there to say about a player locking up $4.2 million? Hey, look, we've talked about lots of situations, lots of different contracts over the history of our channel. I'm always in favor of the players getting that bag, getting that extra money, everything. Careers are short, let alone a career at this high of a level and in all sorts of things. Get that money if you deserve it. If if someone's going to pay you, take that money. When you're talking about this critically, though, and you want to, examine in what you're talking about, obviously, Team Liquid's finances are feeling probably pretty good, let alone the people that they've got invested as well with the organization. If you're willing to make this type of investment in, this type of pay in for Jensen. As you said, no more Bjergsen, clearly the best mid laner in North America right now, locking him up for 3 years. And significantly, one of the things, again, was headed towards free agency. So that was it. That was, you needed to put
get it done
enough
quick. Get it done early.
Exactly. The incentive needs to be there to not go to market, to not listen to the other opportunities or what cash might be, what you might want to be pairing with me, all sorts of things. Team Liquid said, we can't possibly afford to lose Jensen, even waffling whatsoever. And that's where you see 4.2. Because yes, if you want to talk about like actual value, and yes, North American value has to be considered differently given just what the astronomical difference is in budgets in the LCS and even compared to a region like the LEC.
And just Team Liquid's budget compared to other LCS teams.
Yeah, Team Liquid's a whole separate entity in itself. You have to make these moves, and if you're talking about criticizing the amount that it's for, I think you're missing the point of the signing and what it means and why you have to go out and acquire a player like Jensen like this.
I just really want more information on contracts. I know this isn't official yet, by the way, guys. This is still rumored to happen, so no ink drawn or anything for this. But I want to see more info on contracts, like how's this actually broken up? Is it just split 1.4 every year, or is it, I want to start seeing like in traditional sports where you have all these incentives built into contracts where you're talking about guaranteed money. Let's say if you win an LCS title, you get 500,000 more, anything like that. I want to see if those are built into esports contracts, and if they're not, they should be.
Yeah, I absolutely think that could be the way to go, and especially when you start talking about contracts elsewhere, right? It's about bringing in imports. I think that's where you can really start to make, this type of change, that if that's what you're going to do, if you are going to have to bring in an import, well, hey, you better make these type of pushes into things, right? And then one of the ways to incentivize, as you said, is putting these things in a contract to make it, hey, get to this point, get this accomplished, whether it's domestically, internationally. Those are the things you can be looking at. And I think that is something international or not, I'd like to see incentive-based pay. It put it more into the contracts that we have here, even trying to keep a healthy amount of cash flow to our players.
The dangerous thing is some sports have, stats based, right? If you get 10 touchdowns, you get this much. If you do that in League of Legends, then you get real KDA players because you say, ooh, if I die here, my KDA slips below 10. I'm not going in this game, guys. Sorry. That'll cost me 200K.
Anything like that. Yeah, obviously very cautious about that with League of Legends and just in general. It'd be a slippery slope to get it going the wrong way. So everything needs to be handled properly if you're going to take any of these ideas. But look, at the core of it, signing Jensen for this type of money in North America, you're it doesn't matter what region you're from. Your eyes pop out of your sockets a little bit seeing that type of number. But when, again, as we talked about, when you realize what are the alternatives? Well, Power of Evil. If you want to maintain this level of play, this in your mid lane right now, either domestically or internationally, it's Jensen or Power of Evil as far as North America goes.
And one's an import. One's an import, one's not.
Right. And especially, unless you're willing then to take a risk on that next tier down and invest in potential or other shortcomings that you're going to have going that next tier down just to save some cash. And I tell you what, Team Liquid doesn't care about saving cash, my man. Steve doesn't care. Disney doesn't care. Marvel doesn't care, my man. They just want results. And hiring a guy like Jensen and paying him what you got to pay, that's one way to help yourself get those results.
Team Liquid's salary is for their team is probably, it's got to be 2 or 3 LCS teams combined. If you're talking about the middle to lower tier LCS teams, it's got to be more than that. It's insane.
It's insane to think that, man, it might be 2 times as much as G2. And G2 gets 2 times the performance. What's going on here?
God bless Perks. He's immediately on
the LEC
Twitter.
Conversion rate, right? That's the LEC conversion rate.
Perks is immediately on Twitter saying, "Oh, how much for a 9-star general over in North America? How much do I have to get over there?" Perks, always the meme lord, especially with all the Fnatic stuff going around. But honestly, this Jensen thing will definitely open up for other EU players to kind of see it and say, "Wow, that's more than I'm going to make over here," or even other star players around the globe.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one of the domino effects that you have to consider of this type of contract in general, just is the scene, right? And let alone as we talk about the differences in budgets in North America and the LEC, and that has to be separate. If you're a player, right, and you're reaching a time where you're able to make your own decisions, well then, yeah, it does kind of matter when you're starting to see 4.2 thrown around and obviously knowing the longevity of careers and how things are and, try to secure that bag, let alone for yourself, but for family members and everything else. Hey, if you're a player like Perks, you're a player like Caps, you're starting to go, well, I'm better than Jensen. I've put up more statistical, accomplishments and everything else. Maybe I can argue for 5.6 million or whatever type of conversations. And then we're starting to get into some wacky territory, my man.
Yeah, we'll be here with the video for TSM announcing Perks and or Caps on the roster. But that's all the time today for League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. As always, we'll catch you guys and gals on the Flippity Flop.